She's going to lead the discussion today. As a small business lender in the Hudson Valley, we strive to not only provide financing, but also technical assistance and training to our small business borrowers. And so again, welcome to everybody, and thanks for getting up this early with us. Marketing is generally what creates the lifeblood of your business and attracts your customers. But I know that some small businesses are afraid that marketing is expensive, and you sometimes really don't know what works, and then you might have already invested a lot of money and you don't get a lot of return on it. So what we'll try to do this morning is just show you a couple ways that you can market your business and get the word out there without spending a lot of money. And like I said, Holly's going to lead us through the presentation. I do also want to thank our sponsor today, the SBA, the Small Business Administration. They are a great partner to small businesses, and they're definitely helping CCNY to provide the quality training and opportunities to small businesses in the Hudson Valley. Before we get started, for those of you that might be kind of new to this whole webinar technology, I'll just walk you through the mechanics of it. I hope that everybody can hear me by now. I did mute everybody just so that we don't have all the background noise and we can hear the presentation clearly. If you do have any questions, problems, or concerns during the presentation, just use the chat or question box that shows up on your GoToWebinar screen that's on the right-hand side of your computer display. Sometimes that kind of hides itself. There's a little red arrow right on top that you can see where you can kind of hide it and bring it back up if that screen disappears on you. We can interrupt the presentation to answer your questions at every time. And what we'll also do is that at the end of the session, I'll take everybody off of mute so we can actually have some chit-chat and interaction and discussion with questions that might not have been answered during the presentation. We'll also have a couple poll questions for you. Those are basically just little multiple choice boxes that will show up on your screen during the presentation. And we ask you to just use your mouse and your cursor to click the right answers. I know the people that are following on cell phones might not be able to do that, and that's okay. But if you are able to click, please feel free to share your personal experiences so we can kind of discuss that with the group. And your answers are anonymous, so you don't have to be worried about people figuring out all of your business. With that, I think I'll switch everything over to Holly right now, and we can get going. Thank you.
Thanks, Simone. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for starting your day with us. Simone and I are always trying to find the right time of day to do these webinars, so feedback on that later on would be very helpful to us as well. So when we talk about marketing, small businesses really have to be extra imaginative with their marketing efforts in order to attract customers and get them to spend money at their businesses. Even more challenging is that most entrepreneurs have shallow pockets, and shoppers are really being very selective because of, as a result of the sluggish economy we've just come out of. But like everything else in life and business, if you want to do something and get it done, you have to commit and focus. So after we get through talking about these marketing ideas, most of which are very basic and very low cost, please make a list of the ones that you want to pursue and commit to spending 15 minutes, a half hour, whatever you decide you can do a day focusing on them. Prioritize them, but focus every day for 15 minutes, or set whatever the amount of time is, again, that you can do. Simone, do you want to launch one of the polling questions, please?
Sure. Here we go. So we're just wondering what your annual marketing budget is. If you can take a look at those brackets and see where your business falls into, we'd appreciate it. We'll give people a couple more moments to answer that. And then we'll close the polls and share the results. So it's split pretty evenly with below $2,000, between $2,000 and $4,000, and above $6,000. So thanks for that.
Okay. All right. Well, as the title says, you got to get your business noticed, and you can't spend a lot of money doing it. So the most basic is talk to people right away and often, and don't stop. Talk to everyone about your business, your products, your services. This will get the word out and will serve as inspiration also to you to keep grinding away at what you do. It reminds you of why you're doing this in the first place. Get good, really good at social media. Use it to engage your customers and to build better relationships with them. Now, if your business can't afford to hire or engage some sort of social media marketeer, and they're popping up all over the place, I really urge you to identify a trusted family member, a friend, or talk to your local colleges, particularly the community colleges that might be around your area. They're always looking to provide their students with internships. In fact, one of our clients has done that and is delighted with the results. I really am very aware of the fact that these are smart kids. I think they grow up with social media, and as a result of that, they're really very capable. And if you can have the vision, they can help you. I mean, obviously, you've got to be comfortable with these people, but I really encourage you to get someone to help you. Most of you probably have some sort of website, and the key is to make sure you're paying attention to the visitor metrics, they call it. That's the new buzzword. And those are the things that are figuring out what kind of traffic you're getting, where is it coming from, how many go further than just your home page, how much time is spent, and where they go once they leave your site. There are several free resources to help you get those kinds of metrics. So I urge you to look at Google Analytics, or there's another one called mustbepresent.com. Again, that's mustbepresent.com. We could really spend an entire day on this, and I'm certainly not the expert on this, but I really encourage you to get more educated. There's actually a webinar on Thursday that the SBA is offering, and when we get done with our webinar, I'll send you an email and give you the link to it. It's a short one. I think it's 45 minutes, and it's probably worth it for you to just hop on. You know, I've not experienced it, but some of their webinars are really very good. Just before we leave the whole idea of social media, let me just share with you that some of the research that I've done says that the most important things to remember is clear messaging. You have 4 to 5 seconds, that's not a lot of time, to deliver your company's message clearly, quickly, and convincingly. You also have to have what they call call to action. If you're using your website to drive business, you have to give visitors the key to the car, and if you want them to buy, you really need a large buy now button, you know, something that really stands out. Make sure you don't make your customers work hard to figure out how to do the things that they want to do on your website. I can't tell you the number of times that I myself have been on a website and I'm trying to figure out how to contact you. I don't want to press any buttons right now. I just want to talk to someone, or I just want to email someone, and you can't always find that. I think it's important to keep in mind that social media is ultimately a way of you having a conversation with your customers or your potential customers. You have to be just as present on social media as you would or are on the phone having a conversation with your customers. Simone, do you want to launch a polling question?
Sure. Here we go. So we're just curious of how often you do something on social media to promote your business. I think most people are aware now that you really should, you know, try and be on there as consistently as possible. And like Holly said, really also have a consistent message. So especially if you're on Facebook or things like that, you're really posting things that are relevant to your customers, to your consumers. And I'll close this here in a second and share the results. So yeah, it looks like people on the call can definitely up their game a little bit where social media is concerned. So that's, I guess, good news. There's still opportunities out there. Okay, moving right along.
All right. Display your cards or brochures at coffee shops. They're popping up all over the place. Bookstores, yes, there still are bookstores around. Businesses of people you know. Membership stores like Costco or Sam's Club. I do want to mention that Sam's Club is a huge supporter of local entrepreneurs. If there's one near your business, find out if you can display your business there. There is also a program of you having your products tested there, so you should research Sam's Club. They cater to small businesses and they support small businesses. Also offer to reciprocate and display business cards of businesses who agree to display yours. You know, that reciprocal relationship works. Check out your local library. See if you can display your business cards or signage there as well. In fact, I can tell you Community Capital often displays workshops or expos that we're going to have at local libraries, and we get pretty decent response by doing that. Hold an open house, a ribbon cutting, or some kind of event that attracts the public or your specific target market. You can partner with another business if you'd like to split the costs. You can bring in a charity to raise money for, or have a client appreciation night, or some sort of way of engaging people. Whatever you do, make sure you plan it well in advance and definitely publicize it. That's where social media comes in very handy. Make sure it's out there. It's very, very important to try to build a email list, and I don't think that's the end all here, but I think having an email list definitely helps you to get your message out. Make sure you also contact the local patches or the daily voices, those local newspapers that now are very much online, and they're always very happy to write a story. Some of the local areas don't have much going on, so when you're able to talk about an open house or some sort of event, they're delighted. I can tell you from my personal experience, I've been very active in Relay for Life through the American Cancer Society for 8 years, and we will ask people to donate their time. So, for example, we've had personal trainers do opening stretches. We've had a music music school do some of the music. And invariably, these people are delighted to come back year after year. In fact, the personal trainer told me he gets at least 1 or 2 clients every year. So it's helped build his business. So I encourage you to also, volunteer and be a part of that, which we're going to talk about a little bit more in a second. Networking, networking, networking. It's probably a very overused word, but a very, very important word. It's definitely the cheapest form of advertising you can do. Find organizations, associations, chambers, groups, anything that has sort of a monthly meeting that has attendees and members that might fit your target customer or referral source. Go to the meetings, determine if it's worth joining, talk to the people. They're not always cheap to join. I think the chambers are usually $100 or less to join. But the key to networking is frequency. You need to join, and you need to go and get greater visibility and be recognized and become a person that other people want to send people to. Be likable. And I think I know most of you on the phone, and I know you're all likable, but it's important to go to these things and just meet people. Some of the what I call under your nose kind of networking opportunities are, ask yourself this question: are vendors doing business with you? Are your vendors doing business with you? So some of the prospects you might think about are your accountant, your attorney, your plumber, your electrician, your daycare provider. Are they doing business with you? Is your mechanic, your dentist, your hairdresser? Even if these people are not a direct match to the product that you have to offer, they know someone. And at a minimum, you should ask them to display your business cards in their offices or your flyers. And I don't know if you've considered building a newsletter. It's a very useful tool to communicate to those who are on your website and whose email addresses you have. We actually have it, and offer to mention them in your newsletter. That's all a part of networking. We have another polling question for you at this point.
Here we go. We're just curious about how many of these networking events you typically attend on a monthly basis. I'm really reluctant to vote on this.
Simone, I'm having a hard time hearing you. I don't know if...
Okay.
Okay.
Is this better?
Yes, much better.
Sounds good. Okay, so here we go. Share the results. So between once and twice a month, which is actually pretty good. And it's, it really is just like Holly said. I mean, joining the chambers is great, but you really have to actually be there and show up and interact with them and do things. So
they also, most of them also have a membership list on their website, and as a part of becoming a member, they actually put you on this, and the local people are very loyal. You know,
right.
this doing local is something that is really really happening around. Okay, let's move forward. Put your logo on everything. It really is a huge asset. So of course I'm putting our logo on there. I think that you've probably all noticed that logos really are something, it's just a way of getting your company sort of identified. I think one of the greatest inventions, and if you need to know a vendor for it, just ask us. We can connect you to some vendors for these magnets that you can put on your car. I mean, they're just terrific. Pizza places are using them. They no longer have to put that funny thing on the top of their cars. These magnets are all over, and I think they're a great source of showing your logo. T-shirts, name tags, have your logo on your invoices, your flyers. It's really a huge asset, and invariably someone's going to see it and say, you know, I've seen your stuff somewhere. Or what you really want them to do is say, I've seen your stuff everywhere. But I think having your logo out there is really a critical thing, and it's worth investing if you've not in some sort of artist. Again, reach out to people that you know. There is a lot of help out there to develop a logo for your organization. Okay, follow up. Follow up with everyone. And I think you all need to develop a system for following up with customers, a mailing list, mail to them at least once a month, call them, stop in and see them. Everyone's got their own system. I can tell you that now with electronic devices, it's a little easier to do, but sometimes the old-fashioned calendar and just identify, I've spoken to this person today, and advance your calendar 2 weeks from now and put their name down again to call them. That could be part of your 15-minute commitment to marketing every day, is follow-up. It's important. People do business with people that they like, and by following up, I think that you are creating those kinds of relationships with people, and they feel like they're important, and they feel like they're very honored that someone wants their opinion. But again, develop a system that works for you. Press releases, that sounds very fancy, but you can write and distribute your own press releases that are newsworthy and send them to local newspapers, television, radio stations, and don't forget the college radio stations. College radio stations are a great source, particularly if you have a product that is good for college students. And I'm thinking about some of the people on our call. It won't work for everybody, but again, also the patches and the daily voices. If you have a press release, they're delighted to use them. And if just one airs the story, it gives you free access to thousands. Think about having a headline that grabs the attention in just a few words, just giving you some some examples that I've seen along the way of a headline grabber. The first one is, who else wants their lawn to look like new carpet? One of our personal trainers, build a body you can be proud of. And little-known ways to save big on your heating bills. That one always grabs a lot of attention. We've had some contractors use that as well. So press releases are important, and they're not just for big companies. They're for little companies and smaller companies, and they can go to your more local ways of getting that message out. Okay, public service. We talked about it a little bit before. This is really a great chance to do well by doing good. Sponsor something in your area. Donate your product or your service to a local charity, or volunteer to speak at a local school or a college. You'd be surprised. I mean, these have sort of cascading effects. If you do that sort of thing, somebody will talk about you, and again, it's just a way of your company being spoken about in your local area. It positions you in a very positive light in your community as well. People like to support those who support the local charities. Okay, barter with vendors and get them talking about your business. This helps the bottom line. But even more important, again, it gets the word out about your product or service out there. And some of you have products that could work in a bartering type of situation. Okay, Simone, did I skip a polling question?
We did. It was the logo one, but I think
do you want to launch it?
Oh, sure. See if everybody's still paying attention. Here we go. So this is kind of tracing back to the logo question before. We're just wondering, do you have a logo and do you use it? So pick either one of those three options.
This is reminding me of a wonderful commercial I saw recently about a guy who gets up in the morning and he kind of puts his clothes on and then he gets into the shower, and it's a commercial for a lottery, and he gets into the train and he's sopping wet but wearing a suit, and the person sitting next to him says, every once in a the order of things really matters. So I guess I've messed up on the order of things, but I apologize.
It's all good. So looks like it's a pretty even split between people having logos and not having them, and using them and not. So, go get one and use it.
Yeah. All right. What I'm really hoping that you'll do is just concentrate on this list of sort of reminders and implement. I mean, it's great to have them in the back of your mind as entrepreneurs. You get busy. That's why I'm really asking you, begging you to come up with a list of ones that you're going to focus on and spend some time every day focusing on marketing your organization. I was recently at a networking event myself, and I spoke to a marketing consultant who said something that I thought was very interesting. She said that the Internet and smart devices and the way consumers are absorbing content these days has really leveled, or at least narrowed, the playing field between companies that have big marketing budgets and those that don't. And she said that the biggest differentiator, if that's a word, today is not money, it's time and commitment. So again, I really encourage you to try these ideas, analyze what's working and what's not working, and commit to spreading the word about your business every single day. All right. Thank you. And questions, thoughts, anything you'd all like to share?
Okay, so let me take everybody.
Mute everyone.
Mute. There we go.
Well, I have to say that you guys have, I mean, I don't think all of the, as you guys know, our business is kind of unique, 100 Mile, but I think you guys get it, the differentiation, the communication, people reward relationships and constant feedback and follow-up, and that's, I mean, that's the best marketing tool you can have, really.
Yeah, it really is true. I mean, there's no question marketing is important, but people do business with people they like. And I don't know if any of you have had this experience, but if I have a bad experience in a store, even if I need the product, I'm not spending my hard-earned money in that store. I'll go somewhere else. I feel it's really disrespectful for for people not to be nice. So I think, again, people do business with people that they like and they see.
Yeah, I think we all know that we're probably, for the other people on the call, is that we're not reinventing the wheel here with maybe the products we're offering or services, but it's just about those things, the relationships and the differentiation factors.
Yeah, absolutely. We have someone on the call who runs a daycare center, and I think that's so critical. I mean, if you leave your children someplace every day, you need to feel comforted, and they will spread that word for you too. If they say, "Wow, this is really a place that likens being home, and they're loving and considerate," and that kind of thing, the word will spread. It takes time. It's not something that happens overnight. But it definitely is important for you to focus on it. Any other thoughts or questions?
You must have been really thorough this time. There were no questions at all.
Okay.
And Uzi, for some reason, I see that you're still on your computer. So if you have any questions, if you do want to chat with us, get on the phone, dial in with that access code, and we should be able to hear you from there.
Okay. Now, Simone, at the end of this, there's just some things I want to remember. I'm going to send you the link for that SBA, for the SBA webinar on social media. I think that's a worthwhile thing. And we are also going to post this on our website, so if you want some sort of visual that you can use, that would be great. And I think we're also going to be asking for feedback, including timing of webinars.
Right.
And while we can't satisfy everybody, we really aim to. So let us know what times would work best for you for future ones. And I think, Simone, we had our last slide was inviting you to next week's webinar entitled Understanding Your Financial Statements. And please, nobody yawn here. It'll be a quick overview, but something that I think is really important for small business owners. Even if you're going to hire a professional to do your financial statements, I think it's really important for you to understand the basics. And that's what this will be.
Right. And we'll promise we'll try and not put you to sleep. We'll try and make it interactive and sort of fun as much as we can.
Are you going to resend that registration? Or
yes, definitely. I'll send out another email with the link for that. And we're kind of still sort of debating on the timing of it. I think we had it initially scheduled for 8:30 like this one. But so far I only have very limited registration. So we're kind of debating to switch it back to that noon to 1 o'clock.
Yeah, we're not certain if it was the content or the time that discouraged people from joining in. So give us your feedback and let us know what would work better for you.
Yep.
We can still change it. Okay.
Well, no more questions that I can see here on the screens. So, well, I guess.
Thank you for joining us.
Short and sweet, exactly.
Yeah, thank you for joining.